What is the pettiest reason why you wouldn't date somebody? His mouth was shaped like a trapezoid when he talked. Couldn't unsee it anymore. This visual in my head for that is so cartoonish it gave me a good belly chuckle. She was dating a Ceylon. Not me, but I had a friend who wouldn't date this guy because he had one crooked tooth. He was the nicest guy, truly a wonderful person. Like if I hadn't been in a serious relationship I would've dated this guy. Fast forward, he meets a wonderful woman and they get married. My friend was all weird about it. I asked why and she said, well, I thought he liked me enough to get his twisted tooth fixed. It was the silliest thing I've ever heard. One crooked tooth is like the hottest thing ever to me. Or a front tooth gap. I have even found a missing tooth attractive on the right person. I do not know what my problem is and I will not apologize for it. I briefly dated a young woman who was insanely out of my league. People stared when we went out. Anyway, her voice was like Minnie Mouse. And I just couldn't take it. I still feel bad about that one. I've been told I sound like Kitty Foreman from that 70s show. That's my cross to bear. IF love Kitty Foreman. That's rad. Wasn't me, but a female friend broke up with a guy because his allergies were a sign of weakness. Yay. I responded the same way you did. My brother believes this about my allergies. He thinks I shoulder grown out of it by now. Infuriating. Is he dim? Like, no, seriously? Is he? You can conversely grow into allergies too, brother. Because her eye was twitching while we were talking to each other. I was a dumb freshman in college. This girl was super attractive, smart, and we got along great. For some unfathomable reason this made me want to not talk to her again. Later it dawned on me that it was during finals and she was heavily caffeinated and that can be a side effect. She dodged a bullet because I was a complete dingleberry, lol. I always used to get a twitchy eye during finals. He slept in those tiny no-show socks. Let me be clear. He didn't wear them any other time than when he went to bed. There were some other, more real red flags, but when I saw him whip them out and put them on the second time we slept together, I legitimately thought to myself, actually, I don't think I can fix this one. No-show socks? I gotta Google this. What the heck? That's weird. They're kinda ugly. If they have, or some s like that in their bio, just seems like some scammer or Ponzi scheme s, or someone who will lose their family's savings on something incredibly risky. If they have my sister's name, I'm not saying my sister's name during sex. I'll say your sister's name during sex. I too choose this guy's sister. I love how this s is so deeply ingrained in Reddit. If a woman has a horse in her dating profile, you will never be more important than that horse. It may be petty, but it's backed up by personal experience. This isn't petty. Horse girls are crazy. Rich people problems. He wore the same shirt on both of our dates. Get this. Years later, I get into the elevator at work and he's there, in the same shirt. This needs more upvotes. Dude is a literal cartoon character, right? I wanted so badly to demand to know if he has multiples or just one, or find out which department he was in and stalk him. Unfortunately, I had given in my 2 weeks and didn't work in that building often. She wore fake glasses with no lenses in them, and that just seemed like a gigantic red flag. Was that in the late 2000s or early 2010s? Lol. My cat said hello to her, and she didn't say hi back. I had a one-night stand, kicked my cat off of the bed. #1. Never ever have I kicked a cat. But I did kick that guy out of my house and my life. Instantly. GTFO. Now, I'm sorry, but that dude kicked your cat? That's unacceptable. If you want the cat off the bed, you gently pick them up and place them elsewhere. They shared same name as someone I don't like. Anyone named Andrew can F right off. Had a shift lead named Andy who was a cool dude. One of the best supervisors I've ever had. Shame a certain prince and a third-rate kickboxer have to taint the name. I will never date/fuck another Anthony ever again. I've dated/relationship 3 different Anthonys at 3 different ages and they all turned out badly. Eater. From these replies it looks like any time one dates multiple people with the same name, it's a bad idea. Everybody's response is cracking me up. Eater 2. Thank you all for making this random a comment my most popular on Reddit ever. I have been lolling at these comments, anecdotes, and hollers since yesterday. I had no idea so many people would also have dated multiple folks with the same name and had bad experiences. We should form a club. I had a friend years back that had 3 bad boyfriends, one after the other, each more douchier than the last. Each one called Rob. When talking to her one night, having a few beers, she complained that she always attracts dickheads, and then she asks what she should do. So having had a drink or 6, I just blurt out, maybe don't date any more Robs. Anyway, next guy she dated was Steve. They got married. Audibly scraped their teeth on metal silverware with every bite they took. It was asking for /petty/ reasons. People like that make it hard for me to prevent assault, usually with a fork or table knife. They slap when they drink, or smack when they eat. Mate, I heard that in my head. I used to know a boy that would do that when they ate. It was disgusting. Watching him eat a bacon sandwich was the thing of nightmare. If they are into conspiracy theories, I dated a guy who was, and it consumed his life. It's all he talked about. I couldn't even watch a movie with him because he would talk through the whole thing about how it relates to certain conspiracy theories. Also could never enjoy my food. We would make a big dinner on Friday nights to start the weekend. We both had a long day at work. We'd sit down to finally eat, and he'd pull out his phone and put on conspiracy videos. He'd make me watch them so loudly while I ate, and he'd talk through all of them too. I could never tell him that I wasn't interested or I just want to eat because he'd get mad. It ruined my whole meal. I think most people like to eat in peace. Also, he'd spend hundreds of items he needed in case we ever got attacked by skinwalkers. Never again. He actually got dumped by you because the government of the New World Order brainwashed you. They actually produced all the movies that you watched with him, and they all had hidden Easter eggs that subconsciously made you hate the truth he was telling you. They had you so brainwashed that you still don't believe in skinwalkers. If they'd date someone like me, then it's off. I can't trust someone so obviously judgment impaired. I wouldn't join a club that would have me. Groucho Marx. If I belonged to a club like this, I'd have to cancel my membership on account of them letting in the likes of me. And if you voted for me, you don't belong in my club either. I have a friend who stopped dating someone because he found out they were lactose intolerant. His example of why was, what if I taste a really great dessert and I want to share the experience with her and she can't even taste it, but she totally could. Lactose intolerant people are always eating dairy in my experience. They just recognize that it will give them indigestion that is as severe or mild as how much they ate. My best friend is lactose intolerant, and he keeps a bottle of lactase supplements next to the salt and pepper on his kitchen table. I won't date anyone who has the same name as my mom or sisters. I just can't get over the idea of saying those names in a romantic situation. Worst part is that they have pretty common names. Lol. Someone who has to record everything and post everything daily on social media. Avoiding chronic narcissists is not petty. I dumped a girl in middle school because I didn't want to buy her a Christmas gift. Understandable. Those things are expensive. Littering. Someone litters while on a date, I'm ghosting them. Not petty, that's valid. Petty? My first name is Roxanne. Any guy who screeches Roxanne, you don't have to put out the red light in public then asks me on a date, is going to be rejected. The song is about a prostitute. Why would that seem like a good idea? Completely petty, but I've never regretted it. Any guy who screeches Roxanne, you don't have to put out the red light and you have every right to be mad. Because the actual lyrics are, you don't have to put on the red light out there, they get it wrong. Lol. True. This is the difference between no, baby, you don't need to stop prostituting for me. We could use the cash, and no, baby, you don't need to be prostituting. I got you. I wouldn't date a guy who I thought told me I was a prostitute who should keep working fair. Ok. She said she had to go tinkles on our blind date. Never contacted her again. Baby talk is a hard no. I have a forced acquaintance who calls sandwiches sandwies and it always makes my skin crawl. I do give some leeway when it comes to people who live/work with small children. It can become a habit to say things like potty or nights or tummy, but there are still some lines that should not be crossed in adult conversations. A college friend of mine was dating a girl who was amazing, smart, funny, and she had put on a few extra lbs recently which bothered him. Don't shoot the messenger. We were driving at night down a big hill on a hot summer night and see a young woman running up the hill toward us, really sweating, face purple, and looking pretty haggard, huffing and puffing. He made a comment like, "Holy s, this girl is struggling." Got closer. It was her. Long awkward pause. "Well, I'm going to have to break up with her," he said. Fast forward 6 months. We run into her at a pub and she is in absolute perfect shape. And when he tries to make a move, she told him aloud, in front of a table full of her friends, that she wasn't interested in him and that he had dumped her for getting fat. Top 5 funniest takedowns I've ever seen. Fast forward 10 years. He's been divorced twice and has had a long list of STI relationships. The end. She keeps asking questions during movies. Like MF I don't know, I haven't seen it either. Special. Hell. If they have a gummy smile. Uppercase gums with lowercase teeth. I get this. I can't deal with small teeth. Guy can be a 10/10, but if he smiles and he has small teeth, I've lost all interest. I tried with someone like this and feel horrible that it affected my attraction to her. Of course that wasn't the only reason we stopped talking, but it didn't help. If they mention astrology more than once in their dating profile. PSH. What a Copernicus thing to say. I'm an Aquarium. I would know. You're just saying that because Pluto is in microwave. Their belly button sticks out. They're so gross looking to me that it's an instant turn off. This is definitely the pettiest answer in this whole thread and I love it. I had a friend in high school that broke up with a guy because he had too many moles. She said she just kept staring at them and was grossed out. This is why I can't find love probably. I'm just a molly freak. I was a molly freak too. I had a few people tell me I disgusted them because of it. Eventually, I took a knife and tried to cut some of them off. That didn't work out very well.